Now we are talking. So, silent treatment, but only few minutes, yeah. Some karma was there, it went. So now, ekena mritpindena sarvam mrinmayam vijnatam bhavati. By knowing one little lump of clay, the entire earthenware is understood, assimilated, known. What does this mean here? It's not by knowing one pot. And this is the mistake that is made. I want to get to know the truth pot by pot. There is no pot. So if you go pot by pot, you say, okay, I have understood that, you are clay. I have understood. You are clay. You are nothing but clay. Yes, I understand that. And I am the knower of this pot. As what? Clay. And then I am completely flummoxed when I encounter this one. Why? Because I am going pot by pot. That is not Dhiratvam. Dhiratvam is to see the truth of all pots by not focusing on the pot. By seeing the earth, by seeing the truth of the clay. What is this that inheres every pot? What is it that the pot cannot do without? And what is it that the clay can do without? Clay is free of pot. Pot is not free of clay. So you see that thing which inheres, which is the invariable truth, all at once, and that is Dhiratvam. If you go pot by pot, one pot is clay, but what about the other pot? Big question mark. Whole life is a question mark. And therefore, this is that is why it is, even though Swayatta means free will. Bhashya, the introductory Bhashya says, Swayatte api san Swayatta. So Swayatta, free will, is just Swayatta abhasa. It's a semblance of free will. It is not even a resemblance of free will, it's just a semblance of free will. Because either way, and I'm repeating this because this was an important point that got muffled by the no mic in the first few minutes. Either way, it's a choiceless choice. If you choose Shreyas, it is choiceless. Why? How many? For there to be choice, at least two things must be there. How many things are there? One. So if you choose that one, you cannot be told to be making a choice. You cannot be said to be making a choice. No, I go for prayers. Then also you are not making a choice. Why? You are helplessly going for the only thing that you can see. Surrounded as one is by fear, insecurity, scarcity. What's going to happen to me? Yoga Kshema, Raga Dvesha, everything. So bound in that, one does not see the clay, one sees only the pot and goes for the pot. So the clay chooser is also choosing only one thing. What is that one thing? Clay. Pot chooser is also seeing only the pot. Can't see past the pot. Therefore chooses the pot. He is afraid to go beyond the pot because the pot symbolizes security. Pot of gold, pot of money, pot of honey, whatever it is, symbolizes security. Whether it's money or honey, that's what one goes in for. It symbolizes a certain feeling of, I am okay. That's why one cannot see past that. So either way, there is no Swayatta. And Adi Shankara says that in the Bhashya that we are going to see. Because he poses a question in introducing this mantra. And he says that even if there is free will, because there is a predication of two things, Shreyas and Preyas, and so obviously there should be a choice. If there is free will, why do people make a beeline for the wrong one? If you see the line for Shreyas, nobody, and people who are entering the names for people in Shreyas at the counter, they are catching flies for fun. They are having nothing to do. They are catching and releasing flies. That's all they are doing for fun because there is nothing to do. No other way to pass the time because there is nobody coming in. Whereas the person who is working at the prayers counter has to keep calling for reinforcements because the line, people are beating down the line to get into prayers. Why is this the case? If Shreyas is so obviously correct, and to help promote Shreyas, this company, Shreyo Preyo company, what have they done? They have put they have put a thing, this is the right choice. They have put a board. Yeah, make the right choice. Come to Shreyas. It's like those signs that you see. Be a man, join the army. Because nobody is joining. Nobody is joining. That's why they have to put posters. Be a man, join the army, go to school for free, get married for free, and have children for free. All this they have to put. And they have to put this glorious life of, saluting the flag and then standing, in attention. They have to put a glorious thing. I mean, they'll keep away all the cannons and the bombs and the drones out of sight. The only thing left droning in the head is just how wonderful this is, And they'll always show family around, little children playing and, the wives making pies and all these things. Be a man, join the army, and then you go to the place to join the army, not even anyone there to catch flies. That it is deserted. Because they have to show, they have to promote this. So in the same spirit, getting the idea, they said Shreyas is the right choice. You get to wear orange at some point in your life. That's touted, Yeah. Free bhiksha. Have someone cook for you. No worries. And never in a hurry. Retire early. Join Shreyas. No takers. Nobody even goes near it. Prayers, full of stress. Everybody goes towards it. And Adi Shankara asked the question, why? Why is this the case? That people make the wrong choice, and even though Shreyas is advertised widely in the Upanishads, there are no takers. Each Upanishad waxes eloquent about Shreyas. Nobody even comes to listen, let alone take. Only when you listen you can take. Yeah, it doesn't help if the mic is off. But it's okay, increases anticipation. That's what the thing is. Yeah, increases anticipation. And so, why is the reason people make wrong choices is given in this mantra. Without more ado, let us look at the Bhashya. Satyam Swayatte Tathapi Sadhanatah Phalatahascha Mandabuddhinam Durvivekarupe sati Vyamishri bhute iva Manusyametam Purusham Aitah Prapnutah Shreyascha Preyascha Satyam. Here don't go, oh Satyam, Jnanam Anantam. No, here means simple, true. True enough. Granted. Just a way of saying, even in Sanskrit it's the same thing, True enough that there is free will. Granted, there is, there is a semblance of free will. Swayatta means free will. It's a adjectival thing. Swayatta, swayattam, swayattah. Always it can go. So swayatte, te, ubhe, those two. Swayatte, those two. What are those two? Shreyas and prayas. So swayatte api, yes, there seems to be free will here. Even though, true, Satyam, granted, there should be a full stop there. True enough, yes. Swayatte api, you know, swayatte api sanna. Even though there is free will, although there is free will, tatha means, you know, it seems like it goes along with the free will. Tathapi, despite that, you know, it is not so easy to make this choice. Because look at the people standing in line. Who are all these people standing in line for prayers? They are all impaired. Oh, they don't have hands and legs? No, no, no. They are impaired by lack of viveka, discrimination. Lack of viveka is easy. They just have to read the board and say Shreyas is the right choice. Okay, I can't make out myself. So this is telling me, the board, Upanishad board, without getting bored, is repeatedly telling me that Shreyas is the right choice. So I should shimmy over to this line. Doesn't happen. Lack of viveka is not the correct answer. What is the problem? Durviveka. Lack of viveka means I don't know what to do. Durviveka means I don't listen even when I'm told. That's the only aviveki and durviveka and aviveka. That is the only difference, small difference, but makes a big difference. Yeah. No, it's like Swamiji's standing joke. Pujya Swamiji always says, Namma ata maapile, you know, our son-in-law. Son-in-law belonging to our house. He is an exemplary chap. He's a fantastic chap. There's only two things wrong with him. Oh, what are those two things wrong with him? One is he doesn't know what to do on his own. Oh, that's too bad. What's the second thing? Second thing is even when he is told, he does not listen. This is our son-in-law. So, why? This is the way the parents-in-law cover up for their daughter who got married to who fell in love with a village idiot. That this is what happens. Every village has a simpleton, an idiot, you know, not even a simpleton. Someone who is just so out of line that doesn't know what to do, left to themselves, and won't listen either when they are, you know, surrounded, even as they are surrounded by well-wishers who say, this is a sign, this is, you know, if you sink all your money into this project, you will be living off of all of us in a few months. No, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And sometimes people listen until you talk. As soon as you stop talking, and they appear convinced also, they're doing all the right things. They are inclining towards you, they're nodding their head, and they said, yes, that's also true. Yes, what you say is correct. Oh, yes, this insecurity has to be gotten rid of. Oh, yes, this Shreyas, Prayas. Oh, what a wonderful class. All these classes have really impacted me, and this is great. And this is, I have just been transformed. And then at the end of the class, go and do the wrong thing. Why? Because there is not aviveka, durviveka. This is Adi Shankara. It is fantastic. He says, true, it looks like there is free will, but the free will is under hijack by not aviveka. Aviveka is no discrimination, but durviveka. And what is the cause of this durviveka? What is the cause of not doing the correct thing and also disagreeing with what is correct? This is the problem. Not just lack of discernment, because lack of discernment is easily remedied. Because there are other people around who can tell you, and especially if one has good prarabdha, one is surrounded by grace of having other people say that, you know, this is a sinking choice. Don't go here. Still one goes. Why? And the answer is because one is not convinced that this is the correct choice. Why is one not convinced? Because of manda buddhi. What is manda buddhi? Don't think it is IQ. This is not about IQ. This is not a statement about IQ. It's a statement about the I. That does not mind its P's and Q's. That's what it is. It's not IQ. What is this? This is, you know, that's why he explains in detail. It manda buddhi means dull, literally translates, and you will see the translations, dull intellect, poor intellect. No. It's not about intellect as in the intelligence. Intellect in Sanskrit has a different meaning. Vivechana Shakti is compromised. The ability to sift and separate through various priorities is compromised in two ways, Adi Shankara says. Sadhanataha, fifth case, and phalatascha, phalataha cha. It's taha, this tasil has this force of the, So sadhanataha, with regard to, or stemming from lack of discrimination, stemming, or originating with practice, the means, and then phala, what really one wants, the ambitions, the fruit of the ambitions, the goals, the things that one wants in the life. So in two ways they are impaired, like our son-in-law. They are impaired with reference to the means, they are impaired with reference to the goals. What else is left in life? Chocolate cake. Yeah. That's all. What is left? If you don't know what is the correct means, and if you deploy the wrong means, where will you end? In a dead end. If you take the wrong turn, you will go into a dead end. And repeatedly the one who takes wrong turns cannot be said to be not knowing where to go, is misled by durviveka. That's what it is. Dus plus viveka. Dus means bad news. So bad news plus viveka, bad news in relation to viveka. So sadhanataha, compromised, phalataha cha, compromised. Compromised means before one can, so this is very interesting that Adi Shankara says, before even one can get to the place of practicing or employing the basic viveka that connects the sadhana to the phala, the means should be connected to the end. That capacity is long gone. Why? Because the basic capacity of choosing the right means and being in right relationship with my ends is not even there. Forget the interconnections between the two. So this is the person who gets on a plane and then gets off saying, how did I end up in San Francisco? On these hilly roads and then funny looking houses. I want to go to New York. This happened to somebody recently. One wanted to go somewhere, I forgot, some island, and the name of that, and some island or some place, which is in Spain and which is also somewhere in the Pacific somewhere. Yeah. This fellow wanted to go to that place in Spain, Grenada. Yeah. There is one in Spain and there is one name of some other place also somewhere
Bahamas.
in the
Bahamas.
Bahamas, yeah. So in the Pacific Islands there is that, Grenada. He wanted to go to Spain and the airline sent him to Bahama. And, and then now he is suing the airline. Yeah, he is suing British Airways because he went to wrong Grenada. Correct? That he can do. What are you going to do? When you choose Preyas over Shreyas, you cannot sue Bhagavan. Correct? Bhagavan will not be sued. Why? Because Bhagavan will tell you this is what will ensue when you do this. Who are you going to sue? Here at least somebody is there to blame. I mean, this is what I don't understand. He went there, had a nice holiday, and he said, okay, fine, I'm here. He did not come running back. He was going to either place for a holiday only. It's not that he had some multi-million dollar deal that fell through by not going to the other Grenada. Yes. In this Grenada also he would have enjoyed. That Grenada also he would have enjoyed. He said, all right. And in the beginning he was doing the right thing. He took it as Bhagavan's will and he was going with the flow. And then what? flow got obstructed by vitta mohena mudha. So by the prospect of green bills, through this oversight lawsuit, and and then he proceeded to go and sue the airline. So here is a classic case of no match by sadhana and phala. Everybody is phalarthi. They want some goal. Phalarthi means wanting the goal, asking, desirous of the goal. So every phalarthi, what does the phalarthi have to do? Phalarthi has to spend some time in contemplation of Bhagavan. No, nothing that serious. Contemplation of what means am I going to use to get to this goal. And we are not talking of any lofty goals. We are talking of basic goals, like I want a job. All right, how am I going to go to look for a job? Some basic goals should be there, and basic goals are there. Everybody is a phalarthi. And then the logical thing is to hitch the phala to the means after selecting from the means that one has. Sometimes you choose more than one means if the phala is very dear to you. Like this example, I want a job. So now what should I do? I should have a resume. Then I should, it's not enough to have the resume and put it under the pillow. Jobs are not born that way. That's literally calling it sleeping on it. That's what it means. It's not enough to sleep on it by putting it under the pillow. What do I have to do? I have to get the word out. So what are the ways of getting the word out? Then I have to put an ad or respond to the ad. Which should I do? I should do both. I should advertise myself and look also for the people who are already advertising to see if there is a match between the skills they want and the skills that I have. And then first I have to know that what kind of a job that I am, I'm able to do, and what kind of a job is a no. Either because I'm not skilled or because I just simply don't want it. That is something that has to be ascertained. That is all called phala viveka. The goal has to become very, very concrete. Not just any job anywhere. Oh, I got a job offer. What? Wonderful. Where? To go somewhere. To go to some remote island and be the lifeguard there at some, to be the lifeguard there at some pool. Obviously that's not in keeping with what I really want, because it involves relocation. So really speaking, it's not that one is wanting any job. If you really look, phalataha viveka, phala viveka means first I have to look on this side. First I start with the goals. What are my goals? What is the minimum I'm willing to settle for in terms of salary, wage, in terms of what are the perks, in terms of the location, where the job is, in terms of the driving distance, commute, in terms of all the other things. What am I able to put up with? What are the baseline I'm able to put up with? This is called phalataha viveka. Viveka, discrimination and sifting and choosing with regard to the goal, the phala. Here the example we take is of the job. And then there has to be the viveka with regard to the means. What am I willing to do to get this kind of a job? So here is the resume, here is the media through which I am going to advertise. How am I going to market myself? You can't just say, well, I put the word out. How did you put the word out? I told 2 friends. If you see something interesting, hire me. Who did you tell? 2 friends. Where are they? Well, they are just kicking the can down the road because neither of them also is employed. So that is not the good way, correct? This is what is called sadhanataha viveka. So even before you match the means and the ends, the means have to be separately discerned What am I able to do? What am I willing to do? How far am I willing to go? And why? And why not? That has to be separately looked at. And the goal. What is the goal? And what are the possible things? The goal will always be in a continuum with regard to this job. This is the minimum wage, and this is what I am able to take, and this is where I negotiate, and beyond this I will not go. Lesser than this I will not take. These are the minimum hours I need to work in order to take care of myself. So like this, the goal has to be discerned separately before you even put the two together. So manda buddhi is one who is compromised with regard to what they want, compromised with regard to how to go and get it. Phalatascha sadhanascha. Forget even making a sadhana sadhya sambandha. There is no connection. The goal and the means have to talk to each other. If I want to go to Spain, I have to catch the flight that is going to Spain. I can't blame someone else because obviously I went and sat in the plane myself. I should have looked to see where this was headed. So here, this is what is it, the connection, sadhana sadhya sambandha. The means and the ends have to match. And that is a long cry away from the discernment of what the means by themselves are. You know, of course, in relation to what goal I want. So the discernment of the ends and the means, and then putting them together. This is a long way for manda buddhinam, for those of compromised abilities to discriminate, to use the discrimination between the means and the ends. And this is what Adi Shankara says. So then why is that? Because they have durviveka, not aviveka, durviveka. Durviveka means what? Durviveka means that there is wrong, almost a deliberately made wrong choice. It's not completely deliberate because obviously one is so compromised, one makes the wrong choice. But it is deliberate in the sense that there is a inability to see what is correct even after being told. That is what is the deliberate, because I use the will here, not the free will, the will that is bound up in ragadveshas to overcome the better sense from my own higher self, from my own higher buddhi, higher knowledge, from other elders and other people, gurus and elders around me. I choose the wrong thing based on fear, based on desire. This is what ragadvesha are, desire and fear. And so therefore, durviveka rupe. Now why this desire and fear overcome when one is standing in line distinguishing between shreyas and preyas? Says that it's not really the person's fault. You cannot blame the manda buddhi. Why? Because both of them are mixed up. In looking for shreyas, one sees only preyas. And the pressure of the ragadvesha makes one go for the obvious rather than the hidden. Go for something that needs to be accomplished rather than that which is already gained. Because one is fixed on doing. One is stuck into doership. Superglued to doership. And therefore, what happens is not pretty. So he calls it Vyamishri Bhute, typical Adi Shankara word. We find this even in the Brahma Sutra. Satyanrite Mithuni Kritya. The Upodghata Bhashya for the Brahma Sutra is very telling. Introductory Bhashya says Satyanrite, Sat and Asat, Asat in Mithya, Anrita here doesn't mean false. Mithuni Kritya. Mithuni Kritya means totally mixing them up, making one out of Satyam and Mithya. And that is how Adhyasa, the superimposition, takes place. Here, Mithuni Kritya, same pratyaya he uses, chvi, chvau. Why chvau? There is a sutra. Chvau means whenever chvi follows, you make it long. Chvi is short, but then the akaranta shabda the ending noun that you are going to verbify is going to have a long E. Yeah. Chvi. So Vyamishraha, Vyamishranam, Vyamishra. V plus A plus Mishra. Mishra, mix up. V specially mixed up. Like Chuda, and then A completely mixed up. And what is mixed up? Satyam and Mithya are mixed up, even though he doesn't say that. The priorities are mixed up. Vyamishri, long E from that Chui. So, Vyamishri Bhute. And it always, when you make verbify, using the Chui suffix, you have to use a helping verb, auxiliary verb, to be, to is, to do, etc. So, Vyamishri Krite, Vyamishri Bhute, Vyamishri Bhute means that which has been inextricably mixed up, like khichdi. You put rice and dal together and you put it in the pressure cooker and cook it. And then you bring it out and say, oh, I need the dal to be separate. Can you take out the rice so that the dal is separate? No. It's hopelessly, Vyamishri, V plus A plus Mishri Bhute means hopelessly mixed up. Means there is no inextricably mixed up. What is mixed up? The priorities are mixed up. The fruit of what one wants is mixed up. What one wants is the eternal. In other words, what one wants is forever. And that forever is superimposed on everything that is not forever. Yeah, like marriage. Even in the 7th marriage vow, the person says, this time it is forever. What about the other 6 times? Oh, that was a mistake. This is forever. And the forever, the object that signifies forever, keeps on shifting, shape shifting, morphing, and leading this person into a hopeless chase which will never catch what one really wants. Because what one really wants is not God. It is oneself. It is not an object. It is the subject. So the Vyamishri Karanam here is Mishri Karanam is the result of the mix-up between the Atma and the Anatma. The Anatma, which is posing as Atma. What I want is the Atma. Even the Manda Buddhi wants only that forever. Wants to be free. Wants to not make the wrong choice. Wants that which is lasting. And then does what? Chooses to buy a house. But house is lasting. Some houses last for 3,000 years. Even they outlive the human being. What do you mean they have not made the right choice? They have not made the right choice because even though one needs a house to live in, that's true. But then what? What is the reality of it? The reality of it is that it's not going to make you feel that you are limitless. House limited means to buy the house even more limited. And then the 4 walls of the house seem like they're coming in and suffocating on all sides. Why? I'm unable to afford the mortgage. So many things. So the house, yes, there is an objective way to look at a house. 4 walls and a roof, I need and a floor, And I need the house because I need it to stay. I need it to live. That's a different thing. But that this house is going to be, the house is a sadhana. It's not a phala. This is the difference. House is a sadhana. It's a means. For me to conduct my affairs, my life, it's a station. But if I think it is it. Once I gain this, I will no longer have wants. And all the wants will subside because I now have this house. That is Durviveka. That is what the Mishri Karanam, this mix-up entails. This is what is wrong with Shreyas, Preyas problems. Because, you see, Shreyas again, like yesterday I explained it in terms of a minimalism with regard to not, ownership but possession. a minimalism which is expressed through the paucity of engagement. Yeah. There is parsimony exercised in engagement. Minimal engagement. That is what the whole thing is. It's not like, even the one who gives up everything, he may not be choosing Shreyas, even though it looks like. That's why it is abhasa, choice abhasa. Like the person who says, I want out of my family. Why? Because I cannot stand them. I cannot stand any single member. I want to take sannyasa because it's an option. And I feel good also because I'm choosing Shreyas. Is that person choosing Shreyas? Really? No. It's a swayatta abhasa. Because what is following them is the ragadveshas are following them. So Shreyas choice doesn't mean I have to give up everything. That's not the point. I have to give up its hold on me. That's what it is. So living in the family, one can choose Shreyas. Having multiple children, one can still choose Shreyas. Why? Because that choice means I am committed to do whatever it takes to get to the place of not letting any of these things that appear permanent bother me when they go away. Yeah, that is what is Shreyas. That is the choice. So you see the viveka involved here. It's not the action, but the attitude with which the action is performed signifies Shreyas. So once you choose Shreyas, the goal, the sadhana, what is the sadhana? It should come very clearly. Once the choice is made, the means come automatically. I choose Shreyas. What is Shreyas? The truth of myself. So, what do I do as a result? I do everything that it takes to make sure that I grow to understand the truth of myself not being subject to, not being outside of me, is not subject to action. It is myself alone. But what is the problem? I know not it. I don't know it. So therefore the adherence to pursuit of knowledge, that becomes the sadhana. That is what it is. And therefore what should I do? How should I, restructure my life and my priorities? I make sure that I listen as much as I can. Yeah. These days it's easy because we have classes coming out of every pore. You look this side, there is a class. You look that side, it's a class. If you close your eyes, don't look, there are still classes. So I have to choose to know. And I have to choose to know the truth of myself as something that is already accomplished, nothing to do, and for which sake I switch the channel from doing to knowing, from doing to just being. And therefore my priorities have to restructure so that I make the time, I take the time. And here is where I have to let go of the feeling that something terrible is going to happen if I just attend class. What's going to happen? Oh, somebody will be mad. How long will they be mad? How long will they be sad? This is what it takes. I have to deal with the feelings that come, and that is also part of the sadhana. The feelings that come, I have this feeling of being, what is that word? Like without me, nothing will happen. Without me, nothing will. Indispensable. Yes. I have to dispense with that thought. That is what it's incumbent upon me. I have to grow enough. I grow enough to dispense with that thought that I am indispensable. That without me, nothing will run. Without me, everybody will just fall apart. Or my actions have such a big statement on society. The society is going to fall apart if I start studying. So, this is what is called a priority where there is no vyamishranam, There is no Mishri Karanam, there is no mix up of the real and the mithya. There is no mix up. Because I'm seeing things as it is, it's just objective, it's a fact. What I want to gain is already gained. I don't know it. So I have to switch the channel. I switch the channel to put myself in a situation of knowing while dealing with all the things that I have to deal with. I have to live, I have to eat, I have to cook, I have to clean, all these things are there. But all these actions, have a new meaning. I use the actions for my growth. I prioritize the knowing, and the actions become preparation to have a free antahkarana. Antahkaranam, inner instrument to free the mind of the hold of ragadveshas. So the actions become yoga to help the mind grow. The actions are not for the sake of fulfilling desires. I unhitch the actions from their connection to another phala, fulfilling the desires. The actions are not the end because they don't give me the end that I want. So I rein the actions and train them to give me the training of growth. So I do the actions not because of they are going to lead me to do what I want. I do the actions because they help me to become mature. How? By doing what one has to do. The Ragatveshas have a fit first. Yeah. And then they leave the person and the person becomes fit enough for moksha. Because when the teaching comes, there is no block. So I use the action to reduce the blocks. That's what it is. And so all actions that need to be done are done cheerfully, carefully, mindfully, by being in the present, prayerfully. Every action becomes a prayer. The attitude of prayer pervades the action. So I'm not interested in gaining small gains like winning an argument with the family members. Even though that's very delicious, the thought of it is just so wonderful. Today I reign supreme. These stupid people with their stupid logic couldn't get the better of me. Wonderful thought. But then quickly I say, what do I really want? I want to know that I'm already a winner. I don't need to win this argument. And so what do? Let them win. And they say, oh, I won. This is what is the meaning of the win-win situation. They won, you won, everybody wins. And then you have the happiness of seeing the happiness on someone else's face. Me, I said it first. Yes, you said it first. Me, I did. Yes, you did. Yeah, even though it's your idea, let them have it. You're not trying to fight for a patent, right? Yeah. Let them think they did it. They're going to be much nicer the next time you want to attend class. Yeah, so this is how to handle the situation. This is how the removing the Vyamishri Karanam between means and ends and the various means, knocking on the head. Take me, take me, take me. The urgency of the means comes down. This is what I do. I still continue to do what I am doing. But with minimal engagement. Minimal. What is not needed, you don't put the effort there. You don't put the effort there. The effort all goes in being, in a clear place to gain the knowledge, to reduce the subjectivity. And if you don't have that, if one doesn't have that, such a person by Adi Shankara is called, and by the Shruti, Mandaha, Manda Buddhi. And that's why he beautifully says how the Buddhi is compromised. The faculty of knowing is compromised what to choose, and Phalataha, and how to go about it. Sadhanataha, both ways compromised. What else is left? Nothing else is left. And why is this compromising? Why does one find oneself in a compromised position again and again with regard to the goals and the means? One finds oneself in a compromised position primarily because of durviveka rupa, and in the form of durviveka. Itham bhave. So in the form of durviveka only, durviveka rupena. So it is a manifestation of durviveka. What is durviveka? Wrong thinking, wrong priorities, wrong understanding. And the wrong understanding again has an origin. The wrong understanding is powered by, what is it powered by? It is powered by the mix-up of Shreyas with Preyas. Because Shreyas uses the presence of Preyas to advertise itself. Sneaky. Yeah. Yeah, it rides on Shreyas, this Preyas. Its very being is Shreyas. Because all there is that, forever, limitlessness alone. And Preyas indulges in false advertising by taking the trademarked words of Shreyas. And therefore it gives you Coca-Cola and says, this is the real thing. And then it puts a little C with a encircled C, a C with a hug around it. Yeah, copyrighted. You see, it has copyright. Original copyright belongs to what? Shreyas. Shreyas coined the word real. Sat. It was abducted in a blatant patent violation. It was abducted by Preyas and misused. Of course, the poor fellow standing in line will think this is the real thing. Vyamishri bhute. This is the Vyamishri bhute because Preyas has no leg to stand on. In fact, the crutches are also supplied by Shreyas. Hobbling on the crutches given by Shreyas, it tries to undercut Shreyas by using the same terminology. Go to this holiday to feel eternal. Limitless sands, limitless dreams, dream house, which will in 20 years turn into a nightmare. But nonetheless, dream house. Dream house means what? It has so many rooms you lose count of it. I was in such a house, went there and then I got lost. Thankfully there was a bell and I thought it was a bell, but it was an intercom. Yeah, it was a scary thing. One contraption was there, I just pressed. It said press here, so I pressed. I didn't know what else to do. And some ringing sound came and somebody said, can I help you? I said, you most definitely can. Huge house, you had to look at it like this, If you looked at it straight, the peripheral vision, the kataksha means peripheral vision, could not take in the width of it. Huge. This is what it is. And so, Preyas, unabashedly, shamelessly takes all the patent trademark. Yeah. And then says, this is what you really want. Yeah, that is true, that's what I want, but I can give it, that one can't. This is what, Shreyas, poor thing, is that Sat which accommodates everything. It even accommodates this piracy of Preyas. Preyas piracy. Yes. It accommodates the piracy. And therefore this is Vyamishri Bhutam, because by the same trademark, the real and the unreal are both sold. How are you going to distinguish? Real thing, Coke. Real thing, Sat. Have a holiday. This holiday will make you feel wonderful. But what about, it's like some people are very discerning. They want knowledge all the time. Preyas says, I have something for you. This is an educational tour. And here the sands will not be advertised. This is an educational tour through the sands of time. And here you will go from museum to museum to museum. For how long? Until you are fit to sit in the museum. Until you become an artifact. And then what? You will know so many things. And our able and knowledgeable tour guides will tell you everything that you want to know. And so here what I want is knowledge about what? My own self. But that knowledge is just distorted to gain useless information about, people in various countries, how they stay. Here is a trivia from Europe. In Northern Europe, it is considered very impolite to close the blinds. Yeah, except when you're sleeping. No other time the blinds should be closed. It's considered socially and culturally impolite. This is what I hear. So the blinds are always open, so you can look into every house and see them having a fight, see the children throwing things at each other, and this is considered normal. Okay, yeah, they are just like us, we are just like them. If you close the blinds, oh, something shady is happening there. Nobody should close the blinds, except when you're sleeping. You want to keep the sun out, like in these horrible summers where, the sun is out, the sun revolves around you. That's all it is. Never sets. And so this trivia. So what changed, Did the depression go away? No, for a minute I thought it was cute and I laughed. But then what happened? Nothing changed. Did the fear go? No. Did the worry go? No. Did the credit card debt disappear? No. But for a minute I was engaged. It was engaging to find how other people in other countries live. That's kind of nice. It's wonderful. But of what use is it? No use, I understand. That's how prayers just takes all these things, makes it into exciting victuals. Information bites, pun intended. It bites, yeah. It bites into your resolve for Shreyas. That's what it bites into. All these megabytes and gigabytes and terabytes, and there's one more also. After tera, one more thing is there. These bites of information leave you biting your nails because you're not getting anywhere near Shreyas. So prayas is a masquerader. That's why one has durviveka. One goes in for the obvious. And it needs a special kind of a viveka to sift through the obvious. How? Let us find out. Bhashya. Atah hamsah iva ambhasah payastau shreyah preyah padarthau samparitya samyak parigamya manasa alochya gurulaghavam vivinakti prithak karoti dhiro dhiman. Atah, tasmat, therefore, hamsaha iva. Hamsa is, there is no translation. Hamsaha is, badly translated as divine goose. Yeah. Divine goose that lays Hiranyagarbha, golden egg. Very bad. Hamsaha is a celestial animal which looks like a swan, but it's not a swan. It's a celestial bird. A big celestial bird. Don't write down big bird. Yeah. Much more dainty looking than this big bird, Yeah, much nicer looking. And a celestial swan-like graceful bird which has a magical ability. You mix payaha, milk, payas, and you mix water and milk together. And you offer it to this hamsa. And what does the hamsa do? It siphons off the milk and leaves the water for you to bathe. Yeah. Siphons the milk without touching the water. What a lovely example. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Hamsa. And it's metaphorical. The word hamsa is derived from, hum is a short word, acronym for aham. Saha. Who is Saha? Bhagavan, Ishvara. It's the opposite way to say Soham, Saha, Aham, that Bhagavan I am. This is a new kind of internalization. Ham Saha, Soham Ham Saha, Soham Ham Saha, Soham Ham Saha. Soham Ham Saha. Very nice. This is a statement of knowledge. The two things which are so separate, myself and Bhagavan. I have pierced through that delusion of thinking that they are separate. I have pierced through with my viveka, with my knowledge. I have sifted through this, separation of myself and Bhagavan, of myself and Jagat, of Jagat and Bhagavan. Ishvara, Jagat, Jiva, these are the three separate entities. I have sifted through this separation and I am no longer fooled by the Jagat. I can siphon off Bhagavan from the Jagat without touching the Jagat. I can see Bhagavan in and through the Jagat. And this sifting, siphoning is not leaving the Jagat behind, but being someone who is in the world but not of it. Because where will the sadhu go? Where will the jnani go? Jnani doesn't go on a helicopter and go chop, chop, chop somewhere, Jnani is living amidst all that which potentially binds, all that confuses, all that masquerades as what it is not. But that sifting power is, and the assimilation of that knowledge is what makes the jnani. The viveka is what makes the jnani. The building bricks of jnanam, atma jnanam, is viveka. This sifting power. So ham saha, it's a metaphorical meaning. Ham saha is so named. Why is it a golden goose, divine goose which lays golden eggs? Yeah, that's very bad. But why is it called a celestial animal? Because it has got that untouched quality. Because we want to make it rare. Like even Nachiketa's singers and dancers that he was offered, celestial singers. Why not earthly singers? Because it's a rarity. It's a rarity to see someone like the Hamsa who is effortlessly able to sift in and through everything that masquerades as Sat and take in only the Sat, see only the Sat in everything. Like when you say touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. 3 different woods are touched. 3 different woods? No, one wood. 3 different forms of the wood are touched. I have transcended the form when I say touch wood. So each time I say touch wood, I don't have to go to the forest and hug a redwood tree. That's not the only way to touch wood. Nor do I have to go to Home Depot, and go to the lumber company there and touch the wood. No. Sitting right here, touch wood. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. Transcended the chair, transcended the funny looking handle, transcended the table, transcended the bench. This is the benchmark of the jnani. Transcendence, you can use the word here, meaning seeing the invariable in everything that is variable. And when the variable, throws one off by posing as the invariable, that is also caught. That is what is adhyasa. The transference of prayas, where the prayas projects itself as shreyas. That is also caught because I know shreyas. So hamsaha iva, like even this celestial swan, payaha ambhasaha, with reference to the milk and the water. What does it do? you know, payah ambhasah. So it siphons the paya from the ambhasah, from the milk. Shreyah preyah padarthau. The padartha here means the meaning of the words Shreyas and Preyas. Pada, word, artha, meaning. And in an interesting pun, the word padartha also means thing. Here, don't look at it as a thing, because Shreyas alone is the thing. So, padarthau, padasya arthaha tau, padarthau, the meaning of the word Shreyas and Preyas, samparitya, samyak pari itva, in gatau plus sam plus pari plus lyap. So samparitya means the one, the one who is able to samyak, very well ascertained, pari, after looking at everything all around. This word pari comes again, pariksha lokam, that same pari, looking everywhere and seeing the invariable in the variable. Always focused on the invariable, the buddhi is. That is the sign of Shreyas. Now, in everything that I do, in every place that I am, in all my activities, I am focused on the invariable. Wherever the mind goes, I see the invariable. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhayah. Wherever the mind goes, there alone is the absorption with as the invariable one. And so, padarthau, so the meaning of the words Shreyas and Preyas has completely delineated each one, seen the limitations of Preyas. And what is Shreyas and what is Preyas? Which is the milk and which is the water?
The Preyas is the water.
No, Preyas is the water. Very good. Shreyas is the milk. Very good. So, samparitya, parigamya, samyak parigamya, having assimilated and ascertained this very well. How? Through the mind. Manasa alochya. Don't go looking anywhere. Yeah. Don't go looking means, in really speaking, alochya means mentally looking, mentally ascertaining, mentally discriminating. And manasa alochya prithak karoti vivinakti, which I already talked about that, which vivinakti prithak karoti, separates. Who? Dhiraha, the dhiman, the one who can be told to be, who can be said to have a buddhi. Yeah, no, yeah, that's why the van has been used. Dhi plus, dhiman, dhihi, asya, asti, iti dhiman. What about the other one? No buddhi. Durviveka. Durviveka, no buddhi. So here is the one who really qualifies to say you are equipped with a buddhi, the one who is able to do this vivechana. And what is this vivechana? Guru laghavam. No, this is a very interesting sandhi. Don't say guroho laghavam. Laghavam means cheapness. The cheapness of the guru, having ascertained in the mind. No. Guruhu cha, laghuhu cha, guru laghu, tasya guru laghoho, no, guru laghoho bhavam, guru laghavam. Yeah, that is how to look at that. Guru here is not guru, as in the teacher. Guru means heavy. That's why many teachers are bada mahatmas. So, heavy. Guru here has alternative meaning, heavy. Laghu, light. L-I-T-E. Yeah. Very light. So, Guru Laghavam means the Guroho Bhavaha and Laghoho cha Bhavaha. So, the the abstract noun of Guru Laghu together is Guru Laghavam, means the weightage, the relative weightage of the two pursuits. Guru Laghavam means, meaning the sifting here is what is weighty and what is not. And where am I giving the weightage? Which is heavy, which is light. Prayas very light. It makes light of my desire for Sat. Shreyas, the only thing that occupies my mind, my pursuits, that's really the thing. And so therefore I see the relative weightage of the two and restructure my priorities accordingly. Then only I am known as Dhiman, Dhiraha. Very nice, very nicely put. So Manasa Alochya, what to think in the mind? Which is heavy, which is light. Guru Laghavam, Manasa Alochya, Vinakti, Vivinakti. Vivinakti means separates. Who? The Dhiraha, the person who has the ability called Viveka. Vivichya cha Shreyo hi Shreyah eva Abhivranite Preyasah Abhyarhitatvat Ko asau Dhiraha. So after shifting and making this choice, what does the person do? What does the Dhira do? Goes to bed. No. After shifting, doesn't go to bed. What does the Dhira do? Vivinakti, chooses. Abhivrinite, chooses, not Vivinakti. Vivichya, Abhivrinite. Abhi means right now. Doesn't wait, okay, tomorrow I'll choose, let's see. And goes through the same heartache and angst again of the sifting. No. Having sifted and having ascertained clearly which is light, which is heavy, and having looked at the weightage of the relative and the absolute and given weightage to the absolute, chooses the absolute absolutely. Abhivrinite, abhi has the feeling of absolute, immediate. Abhivrinite, doesn't go to bed saying, oh, that was tiring, let's go to bed right now. No, chooses this alone. And what does the Dhira choose? Shreyah hi abhivrinite, indeed chooses Shreyas only. Over what? Preyasaha. Fifth case, in comparison to Preyas, chooses chooses Shreyas over Preyas. Who is this wonderful person? Kosav Dhiraha. This is the person called Dhira. Not only who is able to delineate the choices, but also make the correct choice, choose the correct thing. Such is the person called Dhira. We'll come back. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Dachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Not bad, huh? All of you can sit through this. That's great. Yeah. It's very nice. Because this is all heavy, very guru. Yeah.